So right here we are going to have the plenary report and the next steps from Director General. Please.
Good afternoon, and maybe we are moving towards good evening. I will not keeping you long here because my boss told me to wrap it up very quickly. And the break, coffee break, are waiting for you outside the room. So I hope to go very quickly to the wrap up of and deliverables that we have been hearing from you from the past 2 days. ต้องกดไปทางนี้ใช่ไหมคะค่ะ Can skip this. I just want to start with a very quick recap of what we did in 2016. We had actually 8 or 9 deliverables, but we had carried out tangible and concrete steps in 4 areas, namely in creating a knowledge tank by the Thai Chamber of Commerce. At the Ministry of Commerce, we did human resource development in logistics and in herb and some other wellness in services. We also, the Ministry of Commerce converted ASEAN Design Center in Chiang Mai to be SME and startup for CLMVT development program, and we hope that we already had a couple of workshops in Chiang Mai, but I think that from next year, from this year onward, we would utilize the facility in Chiang Mai more, probably to have some more workshops for CLMVT participants. And we also did sister cities partnership projects to develop products that are found in CLMVT countries, such as ply or some herb product that we can use together and can export together. So those are ongoing, and I think we would continue with that for this year. I would not touch upon this because this was presented by my minister yesterday. Okay, let's move on quickly to the main themes of discussion. The first day we were focusing on 3 areas, namely connectivity in the technological era, and this was, we thought that this was necessary because the way we do trade and investment in the future will be dependent upon connectivity, dependent upon new kinds of channel for doing trade such as e-commerce, and also technology will impact manufacturing activities and selling, retailing, etc., etc. As you have heard from our duets here, in the future you only need to bring your mobile phone and everything will be delivered to you, or you can do go anywhere except using only your mobile phone. The only thing I was thinking when I saw that was that the only thing that will remain physically is the food we eat. So food will remain essential for humans to live, and we will still need to wear clothes. I'm not sure about this, but hopefully people will still wear clothes in the future, but maybe in a new material way. Anyway, technology is very important, and that's why we hold the conference this year in this theme. Secondly, digital trade ecosystem. As I said earlier, the new way of trade and the way people consume things and order things and get things will very much becoming digitalized. And so what we have heard has pointed to the fact that there are many new ideas, many people who can utilize digital platform, digital web, internet, and things like that. But the things that the government needs to do is to provide a proper and efficient and unburdened ecosystem for the entrepreneurs. I think the word ecosystem has been heard throughout the 2 days. And last topic on the trade is that the way people trade and do stuff and live their life will move from offline to online. And so is the service provider or the producers or the manufacturers or the distributor, retailers as well. Offline and online will become will be combined. And I think that you cannot continue offline business without thinking about online. And this will make it omnichannel, meaning that people can get to you through various means. They can use application, they can use internet web-based, they can use I think in the future there will be more instant service or order something. We saw from Grab that there are, sorry to mention only Grab, but everybody, especially the duets that have provided new ways of doing things. For the second day, we talk about technology and inclusive economy. Okay, I will go through this slide quickly because we will go to the next page. The SME and startup is the new theme for today, and creative economy is also the theme for second day. So what we found, okay, here, this is the one of the two important PowerPoints that I would like to show you. What we have heard in the past 2 days, I and my team believe that the concept of connecting the dots, which Kun Pathai had said yesterday, is very much applicable to the digital economy of the future. And 5 themes were found that to be concurring issues that have been touched upon in all the discussion, namely digital mindset and trust building, human capital development, ecosystem and harmonization, public-private collaboration, and inclusiveness. Let me go through this briefly. Digital mindset and trust building. This is a recurring theme from the discussion. People would not be utilizing digital channel or digital application if they don't trust it. I remember yesterday a gentleman asked that why would he need a wallet? He never used a wallet. But another gentleman after that said he used the wallet frequently because he comes from another country and come to live in Thailand, and he found that that is very useful. So digital mindset is something that needs have to be present before the digital economy takes off. And also one issue of digital mindset was told by the many private sector that the government, such as myself, have to be digital ready as well. The government officials have to have digital mindset for the digital economy to take off. That is the issue that Kun Pathai has said also. And trust building, another issue. People may not be sure about whether they can safely use these various means of payment, of order things. So it is incumbent upon the government to provide and to build trust so that digital economy will take off. And issues such as cybersecurity, data privacy, intellectual property protection were mentioned as keys to building trust. And also mutual trust, mutual respect, mutual benefit was mentioned. Second issue that we found were recurring theme was human capital development. In the region of CLMVT countries, we are not yet we may not be ready to reap the benefit because we still need digital literacy, both for business and consumers. Some businesses, they don't know how to do proper business through digital means. And also consumers sometimes don't have access or don't have the experience to use the digital system, digital payment, for example. So digital literacy is still required in our region. Skill development, it was mentioned by the World Bank that in the future skills need to be developed from kindergarten. You know, I'm too old. I'm almost retired now. I will retire in 10 years. But in the future, we have to build digital mindset, digital understanding from from the day your children were born. So I think that is very challenging. But for the people who are here already, we need to be reskill and upskill so that we would continue to be able to be relevant in the future of technology. Adaptive skill, this is similar to what I say. And 3 C's, these are the things that we have heard some participants propose that for CLMVT countries, with all these changes in technology, so what we will do? What should we do? Will we be able to survive in the future? And somebody mentioned 3 C's that are the things that CLMVT countries can do: craft, care, and creative. Craft is something that require human touch, like handicraft or artistic stuff, creative stuff. Okay, that's creative, but something that needs culture, involve culture and your background, history, something, mainly related to things like tourism industry, local economy, that kind of thing, craft. Second is care. Care is like healthcare or wellness or well-being, and something that, again, require human touch. So that is another area that CLMVT countries can do in the future. And last is the creative. We can be creative. We have a lot of ideas, and we have a lot of indigenous knowledge. We have things that we can build upon. So even with the digital forces changing the world, CLMVT will still be able to do well, to be resilient in the future. And last, many people mentioned human capital mobility is going to be required in CLMVT region. There must be a skills movement around the region in order for us to be connected together. The next issue is about ecosystem and harmonization. Particularly yesterday when we had the e-commerce room, the online and offline interoperability was mentioned, that if we want to have digital seamless digital connectivity, the system has to be interoperable. And also digital infrastructure, like this morning somebody said many people in rural areas don't even have internet access, and they asked the government to provide free internet access. And the request was put to the Ministry of Digital Economy, so they would do that, hopefully. And I think the key system in ecosystem that I heard in many rooms is logistics problem. Logistics is not only, if logistics is not properly instituted in CLMVT region, it's not only that things would not be moved around, but it will add to cost. Currently, logistic cost is very much a big burden for many SMEs. They want to send rice from one province to Bangkok. The cost of rice itself is not expensive, but the logistic cost of bringing rice from Isan area to Bangkok adds so much to the cost of the product. So I think for me personally, I think logistics is an area that is ripe for reform. I'm too excited, sorry. Ripe for reform, and it is really, really necessary if we want to do well in the future, not only even for digital adaptation, but for physical connectivity as well. Logistic problem must be seriously addressed. The other one, I can go quickly. Standard legal framework always mentioned that government policy is unclear and uncoordinated. Payment need to be seamless across the region. Taxation, I just want to mention this. I don't know the solution, but many people say taxation will have to be addressed for the digital economy to be taken off. And then incentive, accelerators and investors have to be incorporated in the policy. Almost lastly, the public-private collaboration was another issue that was mentioned again and again in many rooms. And I think for me, the objective of CLMVT Forum is to provide a place where business people can get together and also can have participation from government officials, academics, NGOs, civil society, so that we can come and talk and share views about what to do in the future. And the government also need to rethink their role. They should be they should become facilitator rather than regulator. That was the message that was clear. And one participant from Cambodia mentioned that they would like to have CLMVT Forum continue to be a place where they can exchange views and experiences. And lastly, this is the theme of today, inclusiveness, especially SME and startup, young entrepreneurs, and local economy, creative economy, and tourism. For today, we have heard, since in the morning, several participants who are SMEs and startups from the CLMVT country share their pain points, and hopefully the government will be able to convert those pain points into gain points sometime in the future. But to develop SME would help solve the problem of local economy development. Grassroots, one participant mentioned very clearly that helping SME is helping to reduce the gap of inequality. And so I think we should not overlook the development of SME and startup as well as young entrepreneurs. Almost the last slide. So we have, last night we tried to put everything, all the ideas we have heard into a roadmap and policy and strategy recommendation. And we think that they should be divided into 3 areas: business, people, and government. And in business, the capacity building will still be required. The knowledge or how to create value will need to be strengthened, and market connectivity will have to be expanded. I think that those are the key themes that we have heard that the business should do. For connecting the people, and for the people, of course, the digital mindset is going to be required. I must confess that I think this is the most difficult part to do, but we should not lose hope. SRD or human resource development will be need to be done in the future. Smart consumer, they would know more, and they would be more fussy. Like the gentleman, I think Kun Thiwa just or Kun V in the second duet said that consumer, you have to take care and listen to what your consumer said, otherwise your business would not survive. Talent mobility, another word that people may need to think about. You have to be able to move around across the region. For government, there was a lot of things to be done, including digital infrastructure would be required to be better. The regulation standards have to be reformed or revised and updated, and also harmonized, if possible, across the region. Physical infrastructure, as in cable and some internet connection, that would be required. For the sectors that we have heard, we have identified 5 sectors that we can do work in the future: agriculture or bio-industry, logistics, tourism, digital, and craft and care and creative. And so this is our last proposal. This is we cannot promise that the Thai ministries would be able to do this, but this is the thing that the Secretariat team believes that could be possible, concrete deliverables, could be the work that we would do in the next 2 years. They are including digital CLMVT digital trade roadmap, which was suggested by Minister Pichet yesterday, and this would be something like to provide a strategy for the CLMVT region to move forward in digital trade roadmap. I'm emphasizing digital trade because I'm from Ministry of Commerce, and I think digital trade would be most urgently required in the first place. For CLMVT digital roadmap as such, I believe the Ministry of DE, Digital Economy and telecommunication in your countries are doing that, but we have to look at things in a holistic way. We cannot do only trade, digital, transport, logistics. Things in the future will be connected. So the strategy, the work plan has to be comprehensive. Second thing that we propose to do, which we heard a lot, is Human capital development, which we have been doing, but for the next 2 years, Thailand thinks that this is something that many people want, is startup mentoring, like what we have heard from the duets here. What I heard was from Myanmar's entrepreneurs and also Vietnam. They said that in CLMVT region, we have many young people who have energy, who have ideas. And actually, they said that access to finance is not such a big problem, but they want to learn more from experience, from failure, from success, of those startups in other countries. So I think for me, we will take this up. We will have mentoring program for startup, inviting guests on unicorns from the US, from India, from China, from Japan to come, and from Singapore, Korea to come and share experience, and so that the startup in CLMVT region can go and develop in the future. The third area that we will consider doing is building a platform or a portal for information for CLMVT. This could start with information gathering in terms of like tourism or trade and some other areas, but we also can start thinking about building blocks for CLMVT trade platform. That is something that I think maybe the Chamber of Commerce of CLMVT regions can think about and do together. And lastly, startup. I'm trying to think of some sexy word just before I came, and I think the CLMVT Angel Fund platform. Like Kun Tiwayok from Kaidi said, there are many angel funds around the world. But in CLMVT region, even though some startups from Vietnam say they don't have problem with access to funding or to finance, but I think in many countries, we still need the angel fund or the venture capitalists. So that I think we can try to develop a platform where potential investors can meet people who have ideas, good ideas, entrepreneurs with ideas in CLMVT, and match them. I don't think that the government should become an angel. We are no angel. We can never be angel, and we don't have money to be angel. But what we can do is we can be matchmaker. We can match those who have ideas to those who have money, and so I think that's the kind of role I would like to do. I like to be a matchmaker. The fund to match the fund and the startup who have ideas. So these are the things that we think that we will do in the next couple of years. And of course, the last message I want to leave with is that digital economy, digital connection, technology changes, these are not works of only one single ministry. Ministry of Commerce only takes care of trade, e-commerce and some kind of platform. We help develop SME, help develop startup, but everything, the infrastructure, the ecosystem, laws, regulations are with other ministry, and I'm sure this is true in all the CLMVT countries. So this would require concerted efforts from our ministry to make CLMVT country thrive in the future. So it cannot be a work of a single entity or organization. The public sector, private sector, everybody, the angels, the entrepreneurs, everybody have to work together. And I think this goes very well with the concept of CLMVT region. So Ministry of Commerce, we will try our best to do whatever we can, but we count on support and collaboration with other organizations as well. And I'm finishing here. I hope that everything has been to your satisfaction, and I will leave the final message delivery to my Deputy Minister of Commerce. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much. One big round of applause to Director General Trade Policies and Strategy Office, Ministry of Commerce, Thailand.